Welcome back. This is the Rise Above the Pain series, and I am Katie Wrigley. So last week we were talking about breathing, and this week we're going to be talking about feeling and journaling. Initially, when I was thinking about this series, I was actually going to do them separately. And then I realized that often they're done together. So you can separate them if you would like, or do them together. And that's one of my favorite ways to help me process. So two things in here, whether it's emotions or physical pain, the process is going to be the same, especially with emotions. When you're feeling an emotion such as anger, sadness, grief, shame, guilt, whatever it may be, you only have to feel it for 90 seconds. And that means feeling it. It doesn't mean letting the conscious mind go crazy and bring in all the stories that will then validate why you feel the way you feel. No one needs to validate your feelings. You get to feel however you're feeling. And I invite you to really feel it. Emotions are asking us to feel them. Emotions are simply energy in motion. And once you have felt everything that's there to be felt, guess what? It's going to leave your body. But that's the hard part. It's staying out of the story and staying into the feelings. So one of the ways that I really like to do this, there's two ways. So first of all, you can just tap into that feeling. You can even set a timer for yourself for 90 seconds and just feel it, especially with an emotion. And if it is physical pain, I want you to breathe into that physical pain. So this is something I used to do, and it helped me to calm down a lot. When we can start to take away some of the fear and the stress that are going to go with a pain spike, because as that pain goes up, it's going to kind of hit your nervous system. I want to say cattle prod, actually. It can feel kind of like a derivative of a cattle prod in your nervous system when you get a pain spike, and it's going to create fear. It's going to create stress. When you can actually pause, breathe, take in what we did last week, and connect into that feeling and start to examine it, start to describe it. So whether it's emotional or physical, the sensation that I want you to describe is still a physical sensation. So it may feel like energy, it may feel like pressure, but really get into that and describe it for yourself and spend 90 seconds describing it. Say it out loud if you can. And the reason I give 90 seconds, that's what the science points to. That's all you have to feel to allow something to pass through your body. Again, the trick is staying in the feeling and not getting into the story where you're more likely to continue to rile yourself up because you keep justifying why you feel the way you feel. Just stay in the feeling and see what happens as you do that. Now, another great way to stay in the feeling, and this really helps me too, as you've heard me say, I've been historically very resistant to feeling these painful feelings, much less so now, because I understand how important it is to get it out of the body. And I now also have my trusty little system to do it more quickly. But there can still be resistance there and blind spots. So one of the things that I like to do is journal. And so I've actually created a whole other journal just for processing things out, because it's that important to me that I'm able to work through these things that are continuing to get in my way. And now for me, I have a journal for everything. I've got another one over here. I've got one for Cogno movement. I've got one for BNI. I've got one for meeting notes. And then I have another one for copywriting over here. Like I like my notebooks. You do this however you want to do this. If you have a fun writing object or one that makes you want to write, grab it. Whatever you can do to make this more enjoyable for yourself, that's an easy thing to do. Go for it. Do it. See what happens. And then just write. Maybe take 10 minutes, set a timer, just put pen to paper and keep going. Even if you're saying, I don't know what to write. And then go back to whatever it is you're trying to process out. So if it's with grief or it's with anger, what is making you so angry? Why is it making you angry? And connect into the feeling in the body. So maybe you write for a few minutes, and as you're feeling the anger come up, you pause in the writing and you spend time looking at what that feels like and feeling it, not thinking about it, feeling it. So again, this is going to work whether it's emotional or physical. Just connect to that feeling and feel it. And then on the journaling piece, if you are journaling about your physical pain, talk about everything that you feel about it. What is all this pain doing to you in your life? What is it taken away from you? And have there been any gifts within this pain that you're experiencing? Write those down too. That can help you start to shift it. So I'm going to be back again next week, and we're going to be continuing these. And then next week is actually going to be talking about moving and strengthening as another way to rise above your pain. And we're going to continue to expand from there. I was actually going to do a shorter series, but I haven't introduced you guys to my methodology yet, 4 areas of impact. And that's absolutely a way to rise above your pain. So we're going to do moving and strengthening next week. Then we're going to talk about how cognitive movement can actually help. And then we're going to go into the 4 areas of impact from there. So you can continue to see videos from me either later this week or next week. I'm not sure. I'm kind of playing with that, but I will be back. Have a great week.